The final HTC One has arrived, and as promised, here comes a follow-up video with more multimedia presentations. First of all, we'll have a look onto the screen and its sharpness. Afterwards, we'll compare the photos with the Sony Xperia Z and the videos with the Nokia Lumia 920. And at the end, we'll listen to the speakers. Here we see the part of a test image shown in the same size on all four displays, watched through an optical magnifier. All sizes are 100%, no enlargements or reduction of any kind. The distance of the magnifier is the same on all devices. In this setup, you can almost see the sub-pixel structure of the AMOLED pentile matrix of the Galaxy S3 in the top right corner, and the clearly loss of sharpness on the Lumia 920 below. The difference between the Xperia Z down left and the One top left is small, but if you watch carefully, you'll detect how the tiny semicircles on the Xperia Z start to blur a little bit more on the outside, while this effect is less intense on the One. So you really can say that the HTC One has the sharpest display on the market at the moment. With this, we come to the photo quality. Again, the images haven't been edited. Both are at 100%, but because of the lesser pixels, the picture of the One is smaller. And as you can see, the image of the One is as sharp as the Xperia Z's. Look at the text, "Be ready for the next Galaxy," for example. It's getting even better visible if you go a little closer. Now we are on 200%. This bus passing by is sharper on the One, even with 50% enlargement, because the picture is shot with a 9/15th of a second, while the Xperia Z has to shoot with a 200th of a second. That's because of the bigger sensor pixels on the One, catching more light and thus allowing shorter exposure times. On the other hand, the 4 megapixels of the One are getting in trouble when you try to enlarge the picture more excessive, like in this case 5 times. Here the Xperia Z has more tolerance because of its 13 megapixels and because you have to enlarge the image about half as much only. On the last photo you see that the One produces warmer and more natural colors. And it catches a little more details if you want to look at the passage of black marble on the right. The Xperia Z here shows not much more than a black hole. Videos are compared with the Lumia 920 because it's the only other mobile right now with an optical picture stabilizer. On the frozen image, you'll see that the Lumia 920 makes sharper images. Look at the streets under the middle, for example, or at the building above. But because of the brighter exposure, it loses contrast, and that's why the One shows more contour and details, the dirt below the windows, for example. On pen shots, the Lumia 920 below shows some jerking every now and then, while the image of the One is slightly more stable. As you can see now, the Lumia 920 exposure is quite darker, but both cameras have a good automatic software following quickly and changing the exposure time softly. That's okay. Both devices have been mounted onto a rack during this test, by the way, so they were held in one hand, exposed exactly to the same movements. While walking, the stabilizers have a lot to do because of the heavy movements. Both devices can't counterbalance that, but it's better than nothing. Again, you see that the Lumia 920 clearly produces a sharper image. On the other side, the picture of the One is slightly more stable. To exclude that these effects are based on the miserable light conditions of the cloudy sky, here comes another clip in bright sunlight. And indeed, the Nokia is doing much better here. The picture looks as stable as the One's, and sharper, of course, as already mentioned. Just every now and then the One does a little better concerning the stabilization. The extremely warm color tone of the Lumia 920 is a little exaggerated. Reality lies in the middle between Nokia and HTC. From time to time, some heavy blurs occur on the left and right side of the One. That comes because of the pre-sample these shots have been taken with, what should be a final product as we've been told in advance. In the meantime, we've got a really final sample of the One that doesn't show such problems, but that came too late for this video. Alright, let's come to the speakers, without any disturbance this time, because now we can use some rights-free music. We compare the sound to the Samsung Galaxy S3 because it's still a top seller and the S4 hasn't been released yet. So let's listen.